as a commitment to myself, instead of getting this whole computer setup thing sorted that I've been having issues with, literally recording this on my phone. That way I can keep posting the way that I said I was going to. And the reason why is because of the theme of today's episode. It is literally because the pain of being the same now outweighs the pain of growing. That's been something that's been on my mind lately, because I think in 2025, too many things were changing. I was growing, but the growth was happening in areas that weren't exactly the primary focus. Like it was kind of a secondary or secondhand growth that I didn't necessarily realize was happening. I just had to have happen to progress as a person. And so these primary goals that I took the time to actually set for myself was not growing there, because I was too busy putting all this energy and throwing away energy, honestly, is what it felt like, on these little things, and didn't even realize it. So I was just constantly tired, constantly stressed, constantly bogged down by, and not able to put effort into the things that I wanted to. And I just didn't understand why. And now I think I finally do. Going into this year, I have consumed so much media for self-development, self-help, whatnot, whatever you want to call it. And I've finally realized that there is an enemy in comfort, especially when you are trying to be this entrepreneur spirit, this creative spirit, trying to make things for yourself. A conversation even with my boss today really sparked this thought in my head. Not everybody gets this. Not everybody understands this. He doesn't really seem to understand this, but that's okay. The growth hurts less now, or sorry, the pain of staying the same hurts less than the growth now. I'm going to hold myself to it, at least 2 of these a week to keep going. But what do I mean by this? What do I mean by it hurts more or hurts less to do the thing than staying the same? Well, in my situation, let's do this, because that's what I know. What's the pain that comes from growing? What's the pain that comes from pursuing this? Well, obviously there is time, right? I could be spending this time with friends, with family. I could be playing a video game that I really want to. I could be going out to eat. I could be watching a movie I've really wanted to watch, catching up on a show, whatever it may be. One of the main pains is that it does take time to do this. Now, while that's not the biggest pain, it is one, because it is something that you are losing, if you will. Maybe the more comfortable option, right, would be pursuing those movies, TV shows, hanging out with friends, going out to eat. And not to say that those are bad things. I will still continue to do those things. It's a matter of sacrificing some time to put towards this. Now, is it really a sacrifice if it's towards the dream, if it's towards the future you want? I would argue not. But from the real sense of the word sacrifice, loss of, you are losing, giving up some time. So that is one thing. Another pain could be embarrassment, right? People see this. People think it's cringy. People think it's lame. I am coming to realize that no matter who you are, when you try to do something for yourself that is different than the norm, people are always going to think it's lame. When Elon Musk started working on all of his businesses, he was lame. When Chris Bumstead started bodybuilding, he was lame. When Alex Hormozy started opening his gyms, he was lame. Like, everybody who wants to do something great will be seen as lame or cringe by their peers when they start, because they don't get it. And they don't like the fact that you are trying to do something that is outside the norm, outside of what they want from themselves, or outside of what they are willing to do for themselves. They want to pull you back down to be with them so they feel better. Don't fall victim to that. Once I came to terms with that and finally realized, people don't like it when you are doing better than them. Like, you will never get support, like true, real support, from people who are beneath you. They're always, I don't know, maybe you will, but the point I'm trying to make is that people don't like to see ambition when they've given up theirs. And if you are around a lot of people that are like that, I encourage you to separate yourself from it. So we've got time, we've got embarrassment. What's some other pains that come from this? maybe money, right? I give up some time at work, so make less money, or maybe I have to spend a lot of money to get this to where I want it to be. These are all pains as well. Having that money is nice. Going to work and doing extra hours is great. But if I want to have time for this, maybe give up some of those hours in order to invest in this. So those are 3 pains that kind of just come to mind right off the dome. But those pains are now less to me than the pain of staying the same. And the pain of staying the same is lack of fulfillment. I do not feel fulfilled with what my life currently is. And granted, I'm about to turn 23. I don't think any 23-year-old really feels fulfilled with what their life is. I would be scared if they did, because by the time you're 23, most of you have not done anything. I have not done a whole lot with my life. You are probably not where you want to be. You should not feel fulfilled. You want to be chasing something. I hope you have the ambition to want more, to do more, to be more. So obviously, that pain sucks. The pain of staying the same hurts a lot. That is a big motivating factor. 2, I would go ahead and say that monetarily speaking, creating my own business down the road will reward me and my family way more financially than staying with my same company or even swapping companies. Like, yes, there are ways you work yourself up and make really big money. It's not all about the big money, but it's about making, for me at least, it's about making a good amount to where you don't worry about expenses. I'm about to sneeze. But for me, I want to make enough to where expenses aren't a stressor. I was raised in a household, I'm the oldest of 4 boys. My parents had me young. I was raised in a household where there was money stress because they were young and they're figuring it out. And obviously, dad was the sole worker for the most part. Mom did what she could to help out, but also she spent a lot of time home with 4 kids. That puts stress on a family. I don't want my family to have that. Now that I'm older and see that my mom has created a business that is doing well for her and dad's been promoted, and see that expenses to live aren't really a concern for them anymore. They're not really worried about making sure that, there are groceries and the mortgage is paid. Like, that's not really a stress anymore, and they have some money to do extra things. That's where I want to be. And I feel personally, by creating my own business and being in almost direct control of the revenue that's coming in and the expenses that are going out, that puts me in a really good spot. And so that's one of the other motivating factors to have my own business, to have my own brand. 3, there is a degree of recognition that I want. I want to be able to travel the world, the country, to be able to speak, to put these videos out, and to be somewhat of a household name. Now, I don't want to be Hollywood star famous, but to some degree YouTube famous, right? Where there are some people that know who I am, to where I can host events, meet like-minded people, go on podcasts of like-minded people, participate in all those group activities that come from having a brand, that come from being known. Being a complete unknown in the space that I want to be in, I don't really think that works. And it's also just not something I want. Like, there's always been a part of me that wanted recognition. I wanted to be known as the best or known as the guy for blank. Like, I want to have that thing that people come to me for. So the pain of not having that now greatly outweighs the pain of being who I am now. And I'm going to listen to that pain and continue making my progress. Now that I am in a place where I feel a little bit more financially stable, I've got a salaried job that I know pays my bills. Now that I am settled into a new job, settled into a new apartment, and not having to make tons of crazy life transitions at the moment, I have no reason to. I genuinely, I've sat there upset many times, just cursing my own name and cursing my own self as to why I'm not doing this. And realistically, it all comes back to fear. It comes back to the fear of what if I try and it doesn't work? And honestly, I think that's a silly fear. Like, it's not silly in the sense of having it. I think having that is perfectly normal and everybody goes through that. I think it's silly in the sense of legitimacy, because I'm starting to realize that an honest pursuit to do good, to create something, will work eventually. It's about time, not about if, realistically. Certain people get lucky, or for whatever reason, their brand blows up quickly. Other people, it may take them most of their life, but then it works. Like, I got kittens and I hear them going crazy. I am coming to realize that it is a game of consistency, of effort, honest effort, and time at that point. Let what's going to happen happen. I just made a TikTok post about this saying you need to embrace and be okay with not being able to perfectly plan everything that's going to happen. I'm the kind of person that really likes to know what's going on, and I really like to have reassurance that XYZ inputs are going to lead to ABC outputs or whatever it may be. And when I can't predict that, it makes me very uncertain. And I think a lot of people out there are probably like that. But if you can embrace the fact that you don't know what's always going to happen, in fact, you probably don't want to know because that places a limiting belief on what your life could be, embrace that something even better is in store for you and could happen for you, I believe that you have a happier life. So if I can leave this little video with anything, at some point in your life, you will probably face that dilemma of the pain of being the same is going to hurt way more than the pain of growing. You don't want to be the same forever because that means you're not progressing. If you're the same person at 10, at 20, at 30, at 40, you are not growing. Your life isn't changing. You're not getting to experience the vastness of what is out there. At some point, when that pain hits you, embrace it, use it to fuel you, like I am, and go chase the thing that you want to do. Something's got to kick your butt into gear. If that's what it is, awesome. That's what it is for me. I would caution against financial gain as the sole motivator to do anything. I think it is perfectly okay to have financial goals. I will state one of mine now. I intend to be a millionaire. I intend for my net worth to meet and or exceed $1 million in my lifetime. And I feel no shame in that because one, that is very doable. Two, I do not think that is greedy because what I intend to do with that money is give back to my family, to give back to loved ones, to put into enjoyment and fulfillment of life. Like, there is nothing wrong with the honest intent to do those things. And I think it's very taboo, to talk about money in a sense of motivation. I think a lot of people want to shun that. And I don't see any ill with it as long as it's not greed. And that's where I think you have to be honest with yourself. Is it greed that motivates you? Is it, I want more money simply to have more money? Do I want money to take from others? Like that's not okay. But if you just want to make a good living, to enjoy the finer things in life, to try to offer your family things maybe you didn't have, what's the problem with that? I don't think there's any issues with it as long as you are doing things that are aligned with your interest, aligned with what your purpose is. And so this rant is over. Go chase the things that you want to chase. Don't be caught in the cycle of feeling you're never going to change, you're never going to get better. I promise you can. It just takes effort. At some point, like I said, that pain will rear its ugly head. Use it as motivation. It sucks to feel like that, but you can control it. Peace out.